Welcome back to Taiwan Outlook. We have Cathy, Michael, and Shanling joining us today, and they are the volunteers of this year's A.I.D volunteer program. Cathy, can you talk about your personal feelings about this program after you participated in this program for 3 weeks?
I think the program worked out really, really well. I like how everything was about like getting to know the culture after our teaching was over. But I did feel like during training in Taoyuan and also a little bit after when we had our closing ceremony, that things were a little bit unorganized. So organization was a bit of a problem.
How long is your training program?
Our training program was a week prior to our 2 week of teaching.
And what are the courses in this training program?
Courses included like songs that we can teach the kids and like also methods to get them to listen to us, help us understand them.
What's the most helpful part of this program?
I think the most helpful part was by this teacher. His name is Archie, and he taught us a bunch of like really engaging ways to help the kids become interested in English. Like give them songs to sing, teach them songs about head, knees, and toes, your body parts. Yeah. So that was.
Do you have to do any homework before you come to Taiwan? You know.
I personally didn't really, but I think that it would be helpful for other people who are interested in doing the program later on in the future.
Shanling, what do you feel about the program?
I felt that training was helpful. However, I think it could be shortened a little. Definitely the stuff they taught us. It was the teaching materials, different ideas of games, songs. They were very interesting and very helpful. However, I think shortening it to maybe like 2-3 days would be adequate. And as for the homework, they asked us to come up with a temporary teaching plan, a preliminary one. And actually, the teaching plan I made, I only got through maybe like a third or half of it when I was actually teaching. And so I think it's a very good idea for volunteers to at least make a preliminary plan before they come.
How about you, Michael?
I feel that like the teaching plan didn't really work out for us. Like having to send it in before we actually started teaching.
That's right.
Because like I really didn't even follow my teaching plan at all. And like the fact that we had to do a closing ceremony for the last day really didn't help at all, because we only really taught for 1 week, and that was the first week. And the second week, we spent the whole week preparing for the play that we had.
I see.
So like, I think the closing ceremony should just be like a simple song or something. Not like, cause like when we got there, like immediately they told us, oh, you have to do a play. And then we pretty much spent the entire week preparing for the play, getting the props ready, having them sing certain songs that were included in the play, and having them memorize their lines. So we rehearsed the whole week, and nothing was taught. And I think that was a waste of time, actually, because like it was just because like on the last day the play didn't come out as well as we thought it would, because they were all crying. So they all forgot their lines. And I think like during training it should have been shortened, because the teachers that came in to give us examples on how to teach were like, they were getting really repetitive. Like the games and the songs that they taught us were pretty much the same. They all had like the same ideas and teaching methods. So I think training week should have been shortened.
The exact teaching time for you is about what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Do you think that's long enough to really inspire the students and kids?
I wish it was longer. I really do wish it's a 3 week program instead of a 2 week program, because like Michael said earlier, we spent practically our entire second week just focusing on the play, when I really wish that we could have like taught them a little bit more like sentence structures, maybe more vocabs, and you know, take them outdoors to field trips. But we didn't get to do that because we were preparing for it.
But if we extend the teaching time to 3 or 4 weeks, do you think that would discourage people who might be interested in coming to Taiwan to do this kind of volunteer work, Shanling?
I don't think so. The 2 weeks, yes, 2 weeks is very short, and a lot of that was devoted to the closing ceremony, as with I think all schools. However, instead of the tour, maybe the 3rd week, the last week, could be hanging around the school in the city and touring around with the kids. So in smaller groups, and still we could be with the kids, and they could still practice their English, and we'd still be able to spend adequate time with them.
How about a group size? Do you think that you have to take too many kids, or do you think the size is okay? Michael?
I think the size was pretty good. Like, it was easy to control. It wasn't like an overwhelming amount of kids. And like it was easy to manage the kids because like we can like identify each of the students' problems.
Yeah.
So I think the class size was okay.
Yeah. How about you, Cathy?
I think the class size was fine for me too, especially because we started out with maybe 10 students in a class, and then we ultimately had about 15 because we had 9th graders that came in to learn as well. And their addition to the class really made the class a lot more organized because the little kids actually looked up to them to like learn. And so the class size was okay, especially with the addition of the 9th graders.
Do you get all the necessary logistic support that you need when you are, going down there to teach, doing your teaching job? Shanling?
Yes, we have a lot of support. Like our A.I.D was very helpful, and we had an advisor who came up for a few days. And then actually we had 3 classes, and each class had a TA who was from Taiwan, and that was very helpful. And our principal supplied us with all the supplies we needed. Whatever we need, we just ask him. And besides that, we didn't need very much.
Yeah. Do you think you are welcomed by those local communities?
Yeah, I feel I was like welcome to the community because the principal accepted us with open arms. Like the first thing she did was like give us fruits and have like a little tea, and yeah, like the A.I.D also like took us everywhere. And like the first night we stayed, they took us to some really fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
And yeah, it welcomed us a lot, and I felt comfortable with them. Like the principal to me was like a second ama. Yeah. Like she treated us really well. Like every time we had a problem, she would like assist us with whatever we wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Cathy, how's the experience of interacting with the local people?
I think they were so welcoming, like the kids and the teachers. They wanted to show us everything about their culture, about Bunon village, and like the kids, they taught us languages, and the teachers, they brought us fruits, and like the special wines that they have, and also like the rice they have, just to get us to like get to know their culture a little bit more. They're very welcoming.
What would you suggest to the people who might be interested in serving this program in the future? Cathy?
I want them to know that, before you come, you really should be well prepared for the living condition that you might be living in, because that was definitely a shock for me. And I was a little bit unused to it in the beginning, but you definitely adapt to it ultimately.
How do you adapt yourself to it?
How did I adapt myself to it? Like, I guess watching the kids, like watching them being so carefree about their condition makes me feel kind of uneasy if I'm complaining. So it makes it easier if you just watch the kids and learn from them.
Michael, any suggestions for those future participants?
I feel that you should like know what you want to teach first, because like it was kind of hard for us to set up a lesson plan for each day because we didn't know what to do. We were confused, and like we didn't know how to make the class fun, like teaching English fun. Like, cause like giving them vocab like every single day was kind of boring for them. So I guess you should prepare different games and different songs for them to do, like different activities.
Yeah.
Like that, the class doesn't get boring. Like.
That's right.
Yeah. And yeah, same thing what Cathy said. The living conditions, like, cause our school didn't have AC, and then we had a hard time adapting to the humidity of Taiwan, and the mosquitoes and the lizards and all that. So yeah.
Okay, how about Shanling?
I'd actually have to contradict Michael in the teaching plan, because what turns out, I mean, we all made teaching plans, preliminary ones, but we ended up making like day-to-day ones. So we'd wake up on day 2, be like, okay, let's see, we want to teach A, B, and C, how we're going to do this. And that worked out for us. We did a lot of games. Like our whole 2 weeks was based on games, and it was amazing, like the amount of games we thought of, and the students love games. So I'd actually say, come in, like be prepared to just make things up on the spot and be creative. Don't come in with like a detailed plan, because it's not going to be followed.
Yeah, apparently this is the first time ever for you, all of you, having the chance to live outside of Taipei in such a long time. Did that at all change your impression of Taiwan in general, Cathy?
Definitely. I thought, before that everyone lives in the city, that everyone is always in and like night markets, and getting to know these kids from a different area, from the remote area, really opened my eyes up to like people who still live in impoverished environments and who live, you know, in conditions that aren't too wealthy. So that was definitely different.
How about you, Shanling?
I'd say I was pretty amazed just at the overall like environment and their nature, and I was really impressed just how positive they always are. Like all my students are always smiling, they're always laughing, you know, and you know, every day they'd take us to eat shopping, or like we just go out and they'd take us on their bikes and we just ride around. They treat us to dinner sometimes. And I just really appreciate just the culture change and how easily they accept us.
Yeah. Michael, how's your impression, you know, after and before this program?
Oh, before I thought I was gonna have like a hard time getting used to the weather, and I thought I was gonna like, I don't know, suck at being a teacher. And like afterwards, like I got used to it, and then the kids got closer to us, so it made it all easier. And like at first we didn't really know what to do, cause like the first day came out pretty bad. Like we did the name game and all that, but like the kids weren't really interested. And then like some of them were even scared of me. Like I would just walk around and just run away. and then afterwards they started knowing me and getting to know me, and they got friendlier and friendlier. And like I realized how exciting 7-Eleven is. Like, cause we would always ride bike to 7-Eleven after school, and we would just like, eat ice cream or buy drinks and just hang out at 7-Eleven. That was like the main attraction in that area.
Yeah. Let's talk about your future plans. After these 4-week experiences in Taiwan, does that at all change your, you know, career planning or any way of life in the future, Cathy?
In terms of career, I don't think that I will ever, you know, think about being a teacher, especially because it's definitely very difficult. But you know, it definitely will change the way I think about Taiwan in the future. When people ask me what Taiwan is like, I'm not going to tell them, oh yeah, there are night markets, there are buildings, Taipei 101. I'm going to tell them, you know, that's a part of it. But there's so much more. There's the Aborigines, the remote areas that you can go to really get to know these people that are very different from the people from the city.
Yeah. So for now, you will pay more respect to your teachers, right?
Right. Definitely.
How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I think this opportunity like gave me a perspective on how teachers are. Like when it comes to teaching, teachers have it really bad, especially when they're underpaid. Yeah, like this experience pretty much gave me a wider perspective on how Taiwan is. Like there's the city side, but then again there's the countryside.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then like most of the tourists are concentrated on the city side because they have more attractions.
That's right.
But then if you actually like go to countryside and you live there for like 2 weeks, then you actually understand how it is. Like in a way, it's sort of better than the city because you're blocking out society and the way society wants you to think.
That's right.
Yeah, so like you start getting more humble, and then you realize how spoiled you are living in the city. And yeah, these kids really impacted my life.
That's right. Shanling?
I guess I could say I saw the burdens of being a teacher, but I'd really have to say I saw all the positive sides of being a teacher, and like how grateful teachers can be to like know that they made such a big influence on their students. And definitely when I think of Taiwan now, I always think of my students and the great friends I made. And as for my future, I probably won't be a teacher, but I definitely want to get more involved with like volunteering with school kids.
Yeah, that's right. So finally, if you had a chance to talk to the kids you've been with for the past summer, what do you want to say to them? I mean, we may send a video chat to those kids. So what do you want to say to them? Cathy?
I want to say that I miss you guys a lot. The kids from Haiduan, Guozhong, every single one of you, come to America, save money, come to America, and I'll show you around.
Good. Michael?
Yeah, I just want to say, 就是那些小孩子在内蒙国中，Michael 老师爱你 ，OK， and I'll never leave you, and I always come back. And 大概每年都会回来看你们。
Good. You come back every year to see them, right?
Yeah.
Good.
That's my first location.
Good. Shanling?
I want to say, you know, 我的学生快点来到美国来看我，我们可以去玩。然后 未来来到台湾一定会到宜兰去看你们，然后每次听到背叛或者新不了情，一定会开始哭，想到你们，然后就是很感谢你们，谢谢。
Good. Thank Cathy, Michael, and Shanling. Thanks very much for coming to our program, and thanks for this hard work in this summer. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for watching Taiwan Outlook, and see you next week.